The training facility hummed with the quiet menace of alien technology, gravity plates humming beneath scarred metal flooring. Instructor Vexthal stood before the newest batch of coalition recruits, his four eyes surveying the mismatched group of species that had answered humanity's first invitation to join the Galactic Defense Initiative. Tom Reyes stood near the back, arms crossed, watching the instructor with the patient stillness that made most humans easy to underestimate. Beside him, Lily Chen rolled her shoulders, already sizing up the room the way she always did, cataloging exits, weaknesses, opportunities. Today, Vexthal announced, his translator crackling with something between amusement and contempt. We test baseline strength. This is not complicated. Lift what you can. A Grothian recruit stepped up first, its 6 limbs making quick work of a 500-kilogram plate. Polite applause. A SSCTH warrior hoisted nearly double that, earning nods of approval. The instructor cycled through species after species, each demonstrating numbers that were, by galactic standards, perfectly respectable. Then Vexthal's eyes settled on the 2 humans. You, Reyes. Step forward. Tom uncrossed his arms and walked to the platform without hurry. He glanced at the gravity plates stacked in ascending weight classes, then back at the instructor. Lift what you can, Vexthal repeated, as if speaking to someone slow. Tom tilted his head. You mean their limit, or mine? The question hung in the air like a dropped wrench. A few of the alien recruits exchanged glances. The Grothian's mandibles clicked together in what might have been confusion, might have been the beginning of concern. There is no distinction, Vexthal said, though something in his four-eyed stare had sharpened. Lift. What? You. Can. Right? Tom said. Just checking. Because those numbers you've been posting. He nodded toward the holographic scoreboard tracking the session's results. Those aren't limits. Those are warm-ups where I'm from. A ripple of skepticism moved through the recruits. The SSCTH warrior, the one who'd hoisted a full ton with visible strain, let out a hissing laugh. Small pink creature makes jokes. Lily, still waiting her turn, smirked but said nothing. She'd seen this show before. She just leaned against the wall and got comfortable. Tom stepped onto the platform. The gravity plates here were calibrated to coalition standard, dense alloy discs that even the strongest recruits handled with visible effort. He crouched, gripped the handles of the 500-kilogram plate that had impressed everyone 20 minutes ago, and lifted it overhead like it was a gym bag. Silence. He set it down gently, not even breathing hard, and looked at the instructor. Next size up, or should I just tell you where this is going? Vexthal's eyes narrowed to slits. Continue. Tom continued. 700 kilos. 1,000. 1,500. The weight that had made the SSCTH's joints creak audibly. Each lift was smooth, unhurried, almost bored. The recruits had gone from murmuring to dead silent, the kind of silence that comes when a room collectively realizes it misjudged something. At 2,000 kilograms, the platform's structural supports groaned in protest. Tom paused, examining the plate with mild concern, not for himself, but for the equipment. This rig rated for more than this, he asked. Don't want to break your gear. The plates, Vexthal said slowly, were rated for the strongest species in known space. You are not meant to. He stopped himself, recalibrating whatever assumption had just failed him. Continue. Tom lifted 2,000 kilos overhead. Held it. The metal frame beneath him creaked audibly, but held. That's the last plate, Tom said, setting it down. You guys don't stock heavier ones? No one, Vexthal said, and for the first time his translator carried something that wasn't quite condescension anymore, has required heavier ones. Huh. Tom stepped off the platform, rolling his neck. Guess I found the ceiling of your gym, not mine. He walked back to his spot beside Lily, who was grinning now, arms still crossed, watching the recruits stare at Tom like he'd just recited poetry in a dead language. Show off, she murmured. You're up next, Tom said. Try not to break their whole facility. Vexthal's eyes swiveled toward Lily, and something in his posture had changed, wary now, recalculating. Chun, your turn. Lily pushed off the wall and sauntered to the platform with the easy confidence of someone who'd never once doubted the outcome. She looked at the same reset stack of gravity plates. Someone had hurriedly reloaded them after Tom's demonstration, adding 2 additional plates at the top that clearly hadn't been part of the original test. New plates, she observed. Somebody's compensating. Lift what you can, Vexthal said, and this time there was an edge to it, something almost daring her to fail. Lily didn't bother with the warm-up weights. She walked straight past the 500-kilogram plate, past the 1,000, and grabbed the heaviest one on the rack, the newly added 2,500-kilogram disc that the facility techs had installed specifically to find human limits. She lifted it in one clean motion, barely bending her knees, and held it overhead with the casual ease of someone holding a beach umbrella. "This it?" she asked. "Because I've held heavier furniture moving apartments." The Grothian recruit made a sound like static. The SSCTH warrior had stopped hissing entirely. Vexthal stared, his four eyes doing something complicated that might have been the alien equivalent of a man recalculating his entire worldview. "That is not possible. Your musculature, your bone density readings from intake medical scans do not support." "Yeah, about that," Lily said, setting the plate down without so much as a huff. "You guys scan for muscle mass and bone density like that's the whole story. You ever heard of tendon strength? Fast twitch fiber recruitment? The fact that humans evolved throwing spears at things that could kill us in one hit. So our bodies learned to generate way more force than our size suggests. That is a significant evolutionary advantage to omit from your species file," Vexthal said stiffly. "We didn't omit it," Tom called from the sideline. "You just didn't ask the right questions. You tested what every other species tests for. Turns out that's not the whole picture." Vexthal's translator buzzed with something that might have been the alien equivalent of a sigh. He turned to the scoreboard, where two names now sat atop numbers that dwarfed every other recruit's by a factor of 2 or more, and those numbers had only been limited by the facility's equipment, not by human capability. "The coalition testing protocols," he said slowly, "will need revision. Probably a few other protocols too," Lily said, hopping off the platform. "But hey, that's what the first wave is for. Figuring out what you missed." The SSCDH warrior, recovering some of his composure, stepped forward with what looked like grudging curiosity rather than hostility. "You're kind, soft, no scales, no claws, no venom, no place among predator worlds. And yet," Tom agreed, "we've been climbing to the top of every food chain we've ever met for about 300,000 years. Give or take. We're not the biggest or the strongest species you've ever cataloged. We're just really, really good at exceeding whatever number you expect." Vexthal made a note on his data pad, his expression unreadable, but his posture noticeably more cautious than it had been an hour ago. "Next session," he announced to the room, "will include recalibrated equipment. For all species." "Probably smart," Lily said, elbowing Tom. "Wouldn't want the new guy breaking anything else." "Hey, I asked permission first," Tom said, holding up his hands. "Lift what you can." Man just didn't specify whose kin he meant. Vexthal, watching the two humans walk away already bickering like old friends, found himself recalculating not just his testing protocols, but every assumption the Coalition had ever made about the small, soft-skinned species that had just quietly redefined the meaning of a simple instruction. Behind him, the scoreboard flickered, still displaying two names at the very top, with nothing beneath them but empty space where the equipment had simply run out of weight to offer.